Talk about that big picture thing.
It's crazy. I mean,
what do you think about it? In essence, as an idea.
I'll say this: short term, you'll be alright. Long term, you'll kill clubs.
What? Okay, so how about you, Ali? What's your view?
Yeah, I think pretty much the same. Long term, I don't think it works out for the smaller Premier League teams and EFL clubs. But short term, I think it will make things a bit more interesting. I've always liked the idea of a relegation playoff that they do in Germany. That's always sounded like a good idea. But I don't know.
To me personally, you know, in England we just don't want to innovate. We always care about tradition. So if we're gonna eventually get left behind, because you know, when our European clubs start changing their leagues, because obviously this economic climate's gonna force other teams to change. Like Germany already has 18 teams in the league.
They've been having it.
Obviously the other leagues are probably like watering down, like Italy, France, Spain. The money in them leagues are not the same. Like Barcelona and Real Madrid, they do their own like footballing deals. They earn so much more than the bigger team. In England, you're so lucky that the TV revenue has been split equally.
Yeah, that's why we had a competitive products.
Yeah, it's so lucky. And when the TV money came into the game, that's why you can look at a Premier League now. Like there's at least one player in every team. You can say, "Oh, I wouldn't mind that guy on my team." Before maybe like I think it changed before 2010. Around that time. The lower teams they didn't have a lot of quality players to that, and the big four was established. That there was a big four. The TV money came in, it evened out the playing field, but that TV money is all generated by those big clubs. Because if it's not Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Spurs, if you're not watching that game, you're not watching the game, and the lower clubs are benefiting from that money. Why can't? That's not fair. That's not. In essence, that's not fair because you're benefiting from stuff that you don't produce. It's not your product. You're just getting a portion of a pie that's produced by the bigger clubs. So I can understand they're facing hard times now. Day one, they get their share of the money back. Makes sense.
Yeah, well, what's it called? It'll reduce the quality of the overall products.
No one cares about the quality. They don't care about the quality.
No, but they do because the Premier League, even though the big teams do garner a lot of the revenue and generate a lot of the revenue, but the Premier League is also built on competitiveness. Yeah. And
was it competitive when Man United were winning all those years? Was it competitive when Arsenal were winning? Was it competitive when Chelsea were winning?
They improved. It was after what's it called Man United's.
What leagues are competitive?
After the 2000s, so I think Man United had their three-peat from 97 to 99, if I remember correctly. Actually, no, I think Arsenal won that year. I think they had 99 to 2001 or something along them lines. Arsenal won that 2002. They didn't win again in 2003. Then we won 2004. Then Chelsea went back to back. Then United won 3, and then. Whatever they'll City
all over the place.
You know what I mean? It's been since that 2003-04. It's been pretty competitive. Well, apart from United's 3-peat, it's been pretty competitive, especially after that. And that's and the Premier League really kicked off in that period, like the late 2000s into 2010s. Like really went massive.
It was big before that.
No, it was big, but it's really went massive. And so if we take away from the competitive nature, like look at the German league. How many league titles has Bayern Munich won in a row?
8.
How many league titles has Juventus won in a row?
7 or 8, isn't
How many times has a team not named Barcelona or Madrid won a title in the last?
Atletico won it.
Yeah, but in the last 20 years. In the last 20 years, how many teams?
Valencia won it.
Was it 20 years ago they won it? They never have won one, yeah.
They won one. Atletico won one.
And the rest of them.
That's it. It's been well.
So if you want to see, you want to see that in the Premier League, be my guest. You want to see Man United, Liverpool, Man City, whatever, one of those 2-3 teams. Well, you're
getting that anyway, regardless. When has it not been one of those teams, fam?
No, but if you want to see just like 2 teams just going off with it, or 1 team going on, because the way it's set up, especially if they still keep FFP, because I said in my group chat, if they abolish FFP, then this thing can somewhat work. If they keep FFP there.
Even if they abolish FFP. The little clubs are still not making enough money to buy those big players.
No, if you abolish FFP, that allows all these oligarchs and massive billionaires to come in and invest in their teams. FFP restricts those guys from doing what Chelsea did and doing what Man City did. When you have FFP there, it stops those guys doing. That's why Chelsea, Man City, they're fortunate that they were able to get their all owners before FFP came in place. Because the FFP was in place, Bayern Munich should be heavily restricted.
Even Liverpool as well.
What about Liverpool?
They would have been restricted as well. Because they got owners as well. Why do people forget that Liverpool got owners?
FSG group pump money.
Yeah, they pump money into the team, fam.
Fair enough. Okay, Liverpool as well. You know what I mean? So they would have to abolish FFP in my opinion for this to somewhat work. I mean, because United got a massive fan base in Asia, and I was reading and watching what I think Kaveh Sologol from Sky Sports was saying essentially obviously when they do the voting thing from like, you know, only 6 teams need to vote in one direction to change legislation.
That's what they want.
Well, yeah, they want to have that power. Then United can basically say, oh, we can, you know, have our own TV rights. We're gonna sell it on our own stream on our own platform, United TV. We're gonna sell it to Asia or whatever, and it's gonna generate a massive amounts of money doing that, doing things that way. Then United have a huge competitive advantage that no one else has.
But that package already happens for Real Madrid and Barcelona in a way.
Yeah, that's why they have the huge competitive advantage that no one else has.
But they're still suffering money. Everyone's suffering. The money's tight, man. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, the big 6 they dominate football.
Yeah.
Here in the UK, and whatever direction they go affects football. No one's trying to see Burnley win the league. I'm not trying to see Burnley win the league, fam. That's disgusting.
You don't want another Leicester story?
Leicester was good for 1 year, but guess what happened to them? Guess what happened to them? This season might be a Leicester. As we said last week, this season is looking to be like a Leicester season, but you can see the big clubs. They're like, obviously, COVID's been the opportunity for them to stamp their approval because they've been talks about breakaways for so long.
Yes.
They've been talking for breakaways. Super League. We know what the vision is. They want to have the European Super League. You want to have weeks where it's Real Madrid versus Juventus, it's Barcelona versus Bayern Munich, it's Bayern Munich versus Liverpool, and it's a weekly thing, like in a massive league. That's the dream. That's what they want.
Yeah, because that'll be extremely lucrative.
Because it's countries to countries, but obviously COVID is going to affect that. So right now that plan is like
the back burner.
Is that something that would run side to side with the Premier League that teams will play in the European League?
Premier League will be a separate.
They wouldn't be competing in there anymore.
I think you'll have like maybe you have 2 European tiers.
Super League 1, Super League 2.
Super League 1, Super League 2, like, and the 40 most revenue generating teams in those leagues, and then that's it. Them man are separate from the Premier League, Scottish League, all of those. Maybe you have a cup competition where them man can all come together. The best teams can come together, but that will be it, fam. They will break away.
This is just all about power and money.
You
have to go where the money. Follow the money. Just follow the money. That's what.
If I'm a team like, if I'm one of those periphery countries in the league where the league is just dominant. There's just one team. Like if I'm Celtic and Rangers, if I'm PSG, if I'm talking to them man and saying maybe you can force this through, force these things through, because it helps them teams. It'll help them teams to generate money in the long run. That's probably Rangers and Celtic's dream, to be away from Scotland.
You think they'd get an invite to that?
Yeah, trust me. They're getting an invite. So
I think Celtic probably would. Yeah,
I think they're both getting an invite.
Did they generate enough cash to get into Ghana?
Big Scottish teams, fam. They're getting it.
Are they part of the most 40? Are they the top?
I wouldn't say they're 40 generating.
So in that case,
they're getting in though.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
They're getting in a technicality.
Not technicality, man. I don't know, man.
Yeah, just being one of the top.
If you were to pick, if you were to pick, let's say now, if you were picking a Super League, what 20 teams would you have in it?
Oh gosh. Madrid, Barca, Bayern, Juventus, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, Spurs, PSG, Dortmund.
You're not going to include the Milans.
Milan, AC.
One of the Milans are not making that league. One of the Milans are not making that
anymore.
One of them might not make that league.
Ajax.
Porto will go. Or Benfica. One of the two.
Both of them, I think they'll both have to go, to be fair.
Porto.
Did you put Atletico in there?
Atletico. Maybe Valencia.
Sevilla. Europa League titles in that there recently.
It gets tricky because there's gonna be.
Maybe Everton. They got money now.
It gets tricky because you can't put all those English teams in that league.
You can't put Everton ahead of Sevilla.
Yeah, and then there's
depends how they do it. Everton.
And in Germany, there's teams that are gonna say like, "Wow, we're here as well."
Yeah, maybe I'll be like, it depends how they do it, because they restrict countries that have like no more than 5 or 6 in the thing, or they do it straight on generation of money. You know,
if they do it straight on generation of money, then it's gonna be heavily weighted to just like English, Spanish.
Get your pull up.
PSG would get.
My boy Banks says from TF3, get your pull up.
Get your pull up.
Crazy times ahead. That's what I can say.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mazzoline.
I mean, it just takes me back, because in times where there's confusion, austerity, the big people control. They use these times to exploit the weak people. The strong people use these times to exploit the weak, and that's what's happening with this big picture. That's the big picture for me.
Obviously, when there's like time like this, obviously in these times, there's always some people see opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened. The group of people that have just seen an opportunity. Like,
it's time to strike. Strike when iron salt, execute, and
buy cheap, man. That's what they're doing, fam. They're getting you cheap. That's what they're gonna buy the champ. Do you know what? There's before COVID, there's no chance that a championship will say, oh, they would accept this. They will even laugh you out of it. There's no, because they were happy, fam. They were happy. Yeah. They love that idea of promotion. They're getting the parachute payments, all those money. But now they need peace. They're saying like another 5 to 6 weeks without fans. Some clubs are done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it keeps the pyramid strong. That's what this is gonna do apparently. It's been thought about for a long time, heavily analysed.
It's Liverpool. It's the bank. And guess who it is? It's the American owners that are trying to do this.
Yes, Arsenal will be on board.
Whatever, man. I'm not involved in that. But you know what, America? They want a franchise model. They probably don't even want relegation. They think relegation. What's that?
Yeah.
They're trying to get rid of all of that.
That's why I saw you're part of that. You wanted that.
I am part of it. I just think this franchise the top 20 teams. I'll stop all this relegation up and down, man. Just let's ball, man. It'll be a bigger product if you know the stability of the teams. I promise you. I think NFL is king in America for a reason, because everything's established. You support where you're from, and it generates so much money. In England, if you actually had 20 established teams, no chance of relegation. The support for those teams will be so strong. It's so strong. People will stop crying about this grassroots thing. The support for those things will be so strong. You can build another feeder system where things can work. It will work. I believe it will work.
The support for English teams is really so strong.
More money. They love cash.
I mean,
they'll just break off all those.
The reason NFL is so dominant is because there's no other product in American football that's anywhere near comparable by any sort of imagination possible. It's like if it's NFL, then NFL's
how about NBA?
NFL, no, in terms of just NFL. NFL's at the ceiling, and the rest of American football products at the ground.
How about NBA as well?
What about NBA?
There's other leagues, but NBA is still.
Yeah, but NBA is not as wide as NFL, but NBA again. NBA is at the ceiling.
Why can't the
Premier League's there. There's La Liga. You have Champions League.
Premier League to just abolish.
There's international football.
FFP. There's say we pay you anything you want.
There's Italian football. There's German. Like these guys have. There's many credible teams. And football so worldwide. You can't do that. You just can't.
English football, wipe out everyone, pay the big P's, get all the big men.
Yeah. But anyways, talking about exploiting the weak. Looks like with the pay-per-view thing they're doing the Prem. Looks like they're trying to exploit the weak, as in the individual. In these COVID times, people losing jobs, austerity, unemployment reaching crazy levels, and they're just gonna charge people to watch their club £15 a pop for a game.
It's just a joke thing.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting. It's a joke. It's diabolical. Shambolic. Is that the word?
Shambolic.
Yeah. Whatever, man. It's all those words. Awful. Egregious. You know what it is, man. How about season ticket holders? Them man pay the season ticket and they're paying to watch their team. That's a joke, It's a joke.
Crazy.
Who do they think is going to pay for some of these other games like these?
I'm not watching
Burnley, Sheffield United. No one's paying £15 people won't even watch that if it's on Sky Sports sometimes.
Fam, they can show me that game. Fam, they can pay me to watch that. I'm not watching that, man.
So, apparently, the quote from the Premier League is the Premier League has come to the decision with its clubs to provide a service for supporters who are no longer able to attend and generate match day revenue.
Wait, it's £15.
So basically, they're coming from a vantage point where the people that used to go to the games pay £15 and they're going to be able to help support our club.
Are you trying to say that the £15 is an exchange for the match day experience? Because when you go to watch your team play, it's not just the fact that you're watching a team, it's the experience of being there. We don't give a damn. Like when you're watching at home, it's not the same as going to watch the match. No, you get what I mean?
Not to replace experience, but for them to be able to still support their club. Because obviously,
I'm paying £15 for an experience. I don't want to pay an additional £15 for something that I've already been paying for. Imagine you have a Sky or BT subscription. Now I'm paying on top of that. What's the point?
It's crazy. And the EFL version is £10 a pop.
And if you're a season ticket holder, you don't pay. So I just don't get it, bro. If you're a season ticket holder, the club's already getting revenue from you.
Yeah. I think season ticket holders still have to pay for the game. I'm not sure 100% sure on that, but I think they still.
I don't think they have to.
I feel like for EFL it kind of makes more sense because if you've got a situation where there's no fans in there, they can still generate some revenue if all the money was going to the EFL clubs. But for Premier League clubs, it just seems greedy.
It just seems greedy.
That's the thing. Where is the money going to? Like the pricing point is a bit off, in my opinion. I mean, if it was like £3-4 a game, maybe, but
Yeah,
I think because they said the championship's 10. If the championship's £10 a game, there's no way they can make it £5 a game. Does it get what I mean?
Championship teams, they need that. I mean, it's crazy because, and it's just it's kind of a bit what's it called, but what's the word? It goes against what the Premier's trying to do when they spend 1.2 billion on transfers, but yet they still want to grab money doing this and that.
What I would say is that doesn't this like okay we're in a
hypocritical. That's
we're in a strange time, yeah. A strange time where they're saying this, boss is saying that. If a man just isn't this encouraging people to meet up in groups? Because I'm telling you, Dons are not gonna watch individually. Every man's gonna go and put £15. If a man paid £15, isn't other Dons want to come and watch it on the £15 and chip in? So you're just encouraging the spread.
It's encouraging It's counterproductive in that way because it encourages people to link up and watch games. It also encourages people to watch games illegally.
Yeah.
So you're even losing more revenue.
So you're gonna lose money because people are gonna be more driven to watch games.
I'm not gonna tell Dons my streams, but you know what it is.
You have streams? Okay.
I'm not streaming off, dog. Well played though. Well played Premier League. Well played Premier League. You're doing a good job. Shout out to you. And I hope that you get your worst outcomes this season, mate. In fact, top 4, Everton, Burnley, West Ham, Sheffield United.
I mean, it just like the world is in a crazy state. It trickles down to the sports and other categories in life and whatever. So yeah, this is just very, very strange to say the least.
What's your opinions on the season so far, Ali?
I think it looks like it's going to be one of the weirdest seasons that we've had in a while, well, aside from the Leicester winning one. But I can't call it who's going to get top 4, who's even going to win the league. I can't.
I think it might even be stranger than the Leicester season, you know. Because at least with the Leicester season, some big teams were still like at the top. Yeah. They were still local. The big teams don't look so dominant this year compared to like Leicester season.
I think no patterns. The pre-season caught them off guard.
Guys were saying that in the Leicester season, Dons were pattern. Guess what happened? Guys were falling behind more and more, you know. And there's some teams that are still like, they're still trying to find their level. Like Man United is still trying to find their level. Chelsea trying to find their level. And it doesn't happen like that. Takes months. It doesn't take like a couple of weeks. So by the time these teams find their like top gear, it's past Christmas. There's 18 games left. You're now fighting against the gap.
What about the current top 2? You think they're still clear of everyone else? 'Cause I feel like they kind of still are.
I think Man City's. I don't know where Man City's head at.
Where's Pep's head at?
I don't know where Man City's head is at. I can't recall. I want to have to wait to see them play against each other to see that. And then Liverpool, I think they have the likelihood they're going to be very complacent this season.
Yeah, I feel that as well.
Liverpool.
But it's for me. This is Liverpool's best chance to like solidify your like dominance because everyone's looking a bit shaky. Teams are looking a bit like we don't know what's going to happen this season. But you're so stable, like you haven't bought too many Dons. So
they bought in Thiago, one of the best CMs in the world. They bought in Jota.
They haven't really, but it's not like this is like Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea change up their team.
Chelsea changed up their whole attacking team.
Havertz, Werner.
Are you excited for that? Are you excited?
This is probably the most I've been. I was excited last season, obviously, with Lampard coming in, but with the signings that we made this season, I've fallen back in love with Chelsea. Like I'm watching every game, even though it hasn't even been actually even fun watching the game so far because we're still trying to get together and actually click. But it's a good time to be a Chelsea fan.
Chelsea.
What's your opinions on Lampard?
Yeah,
I don't know.
The Kante rumour.
I don't know how true that is because it doesn't seem very much like Kante to.
It's a bit mad, fam.
You have to do something real mad.
You have to do something real mad to set Kante, fam.
Guy that still drives a Mini, I swear.
He drives a small car, fam. Man takes Eurostar. I think it takes Eurostar to France, fam. And Kante, man, he's a casual man. But yeah, I don't know. The jury seems out on Lampard. Lampard has his favourites. Yeah, his boy Mount.
I don't think people give Mount as much credit as he deserves, though.
What, you think Mount is good?
He works hard. Like, there's no other youngster in the Premier League that works as hard as he does.
When you have to classify a man works hard, you know what he's on, fam. You know what he's on.
I agree with you there.
He's got quality, to be fair, but he's been a bit inconsistent as of late.
Yeah.
And But then again, Southgate's playing for England, so there must be something there we're not seeing, I guess.
He works hard, honestly. You know, them man, they love working hard.
The Hendersons.
Yeah, they love the Hendersons. They love runners. Fam, it's a crime that Mount's starting over Grealish. Is there any world where Mount's better than Grealish?
But in what position?
In 8.
I don't. For me, I don't see Jack Grealish as a solid number 8, especially for a team like England where you're going to need him to work hard. Jack Grealish isn't that hard worker.
Okay, because you're saying that England have so many deficiencies, Mount has to play.
Kind of.
You have to balance as a manager.
Yeah.
But you play football manager.
Okay,
you have to balance. That's why you shouldn't just manage top teams. You throw all the fancy guys together. Let's play. You got to challenge yourself, mate. You got
a great save with Hamburger.
You got Hamburger.
Yeah, Hamburger.
Hamburger.
Yeah, in Germany.
Hamburger is their name.
Hamburger. Yeah. Back then I bought Phil Jones.
One time Hamburger.
Hamburger, fam. German team. But hey, let me tell you something. Chelsea don't need to play Mount when you have runners already in your midfield.
Wait, Chelsea or England?
Chelsea.
Yeah, I feel like for Chelsea this season doesn't need to play anywhere near as much as he played last season.
Yeah.
But I still think...
Why did he play last season? Players, you had Willian. Willian works hard as well. We're talking about Willian. As an Arsenal fan, I'm not too enamoured with Willian. I think he's just a road runner, bro. What does he actually do? What was he doing at Chelsea?
Set pieces was his thing, and even then, free kicks, he'd score a few every now and again, but it's not good enough when you're wasting chances on the ball. You're not quick enough in transitions. For me, I was so happy Willian at Chelsea. I've been waiting for the day.
Well, you were trying to give him the contracts.
I was actually angry, and when you hear that he's demanding a 2-3 year contract, when players like Drogba, Terry, they weren't given more than a year contract over 30. It's like Willian.
Come on, man.
Doesn't deserve that.
He just wanted to stay in London, man. He loved his London life.
His kids are in school. He's settled. That's what I remember him saying that.
But William, man, that's one of the worst signings. We're gonna have that man.
Years.
We're gonna have that man at 34 at Arsenal. We've got to sell him. Maybe Barca will give us a bid because Barca loved William.
They seem to be obsessed with him, innit?
Fam, didn't they offer you like 60 M's for him one time?
I don't get where the obsession with William.
Why do you guys accept that?
I was praying that Chelsea would accept that.
I think William, if I remember correctly, William might have rejected it. I don't know, man.
William rejected the move to Barca. He said, "Take that, fam."
Because we knew Hazard was probably going as well at the end of the season.
Well, we got someone probably that some people think he's gonna be better than Hazard.
Are we talking about Pulisic?
Yeah. He said that man said his career will be comparable.
Who said that?
To Pulisic. You don't know who he said that.
Who said that?
You did.
Oh, yes, yeah. He has an outside chance of doing
Why did he try to act like it wasn't
He has an outside chance of doing that.
Why did he act like it wasn't you though?
I'll tell you, I forgot for a minute, but yeah, Tony's like you know how we're in a statistical era. If you get some numbers, that's what people are gonna say anyways. Because that's the state they used to be Hazard with, even though they forgot contest. He was playing with defensive-minded managers, but that's a story for a different day. But you know, if you get some numbers, produces Chelsea win championship, it'll be comparable.
I think he's probably more driven than Hazard's not that driven. He's got the talent to be a lot better than he actually is.
I'm done with Hazard, man.
I'll give him to the end of the season. If he doesn't perform, if he's still overweight, I'm gonna wash my hands with that guy. But you know, speak of Belgium, Hazard, England 2-1. How do you guys see the game?
I saw the game.
Wait, here's my one question. How the hell are Belgium still ranked number 1? They've been ranked number 1 for like 3 years.
They beat the minnows.
How?
They pammed the minnows.
Haven't even got to a final of a competition.
They pam the minnows.
I think they just get far enough to still keep their place.
They got semis of World Cup. 2000 the Euros.
They lost the quarters. They lost the Wales, fam.
Yeah, Wales Euros and 2014 World Cup. They finished third, didn't it? 2014 World Cup.
I think they finished. No. Netherlands finished third.
They finished 2014.
Third. I think they got to quarterfinals in that one. Didn't America knock them man out?
Actually, they've been in for 3 years, number 1 in the world. I don't know how, man.
Because they pam minnows, fam. When they see minnows, they hit double digits, fam.
Yeah.
And they don't lose like big games. Like they well, who did he face?
They lost to France. They lost to England, and that's pretty much right.
Yeah, that's it. And that loss to England was like England didn't deserve to win. They was just like I think Belgium just didn't care.
Lukaku, he played well.
Lukaku balled.
They need to get rid of Martinez though. Roberto Martinez.
He's not going to take him to a chip.
That's one of the best generation of footballers out there. That Belgium team, man.
The generation's come to an end because them man are getting a bit.
Yeah.
They're getting old. At the end of the day, man, in international football, what quality coaches want to do international? That's it. That's why you're stuck with Martinez.
Yeah, and England are stuck with Southgate because I don't think he's the one anymore.
Southgate is done. Southgate has no ideas.
He fooled me at the World Cup. I won't lie. I was one of the ones that were fooled singing Southgate, you're the one.
How many games did they win in the World Cup? Actually win?
Yeah.
I don't know that 4.
They beat Tunisia.
I can't remember.
They beat, in normal time, they beat Tunisia, Sweden, and one Caribbean team.
Yeah, they did.
And one
Panama.
That's all. Like, they beat 3 teams, and then they lost to Belgium. Like that was. They went to the World Cup. They were so lucky.
Lost to Croatia.
They were so lucky.
I think with a good manager, they probably get to the final. They could have.
It could have been Croatia, yeah. If Kane had passed.
We saw what Sterling done.
Yeah, it's about missed it anyways.
Actually.
In fact, it's good that Sterling didn't get the chance to miss.
Because if he missed that chance, my boy.
If Sterling missed that chance, I don't think he could come and play in England anymore.
If he missed that chance, he'd have got sold to a Madrid side one time.
Because that man can't ball on these shoes, fam.
Anyway, Tunis, France, Portugal, 0-0. Ronaldo
got COVID.
He did, yeah.
Probably from the hug with Mbappe. You know?
Ronaldo, Pogba.
See that young guy, Camavinga?
Yeah.
I've never seen him before that game. He looks like a raw talent.
Camavinga's gonna be a special talent. He can play as a holding, he can play as a box to box. He's got a lot of talent, like he's tenacious and he's so young. He can only he's only gonna blossom. But at the end of the day, you know, I've seen players that young that can had the opportunity to blossom and end up looking like Pogba. So I can't give them too much.
What are you looking at, Pogba? What are you trying to say about Pog?
He's a young prodigy that just stayed a prodigy. Like he's just potential. That's what it is. I can't deal with people that are just potential. I need to actually see the end product.
But you still class as a top 5 CM. Here's a question for Ali. Is Pogba a top 5 CM in the world currently speaking?
I think yes, he is. Because I think if you put him in a functioning team that's not Man United, he's a top 5 centre mid in the world. Like he's one of the most talented players about right now. But in that United team, I think he's just got too much to do.
I'll take productivity over talent though. That's the issue I have with Pogba. The only thing is Pogba's only productive with France because I heard when him and Kante play, they have never lost together. So maybe that's the thing he's missing. He needs a productive partner, fam. Matic and
Tommy. Someone else had a record like that. Take it back to late 50s, early 60s. Pele and Garrincha when they played together, they never lost for Brazil. You expected that one, but yeah.
Great stat.
His love for Pele still runs strong.
Has he been a Pele man?
He's always been a Pele.
It's the truth.
So you've always been a Pele man.
It's the truth. You know.
Interesting.
See the truth.
I saw that discussion.
Yeah, that's the thing with my grades. It doesn't matter about era. It could be from the 50s, 60s. It could be today with more flow maybe. It could be in the 80s, 90s with Michael Jordan.
My best player is Alfredo Di Stefano. Yeah, that's the greatest player of all time.
You can say that if you want.
Better than Pele.
You can't shine Pele's boots.
He can shine.
He can't be good.
Barcelona and Real Madrid both tried to sign him. In fact, they wanted him so bad they signed him at the same time. That's how great Di Stefano.
And what did he do internationally?
I don't know. I think he played for both Spain. I don't know. International football was really the thing.
Where was he from though?
I think it was
Argentina.
I think it was Argentina where he played for both Spain and Argentina.
Yeah.
But he didn't win anything.
Football was a bit joke thing there back then.
No rules back then.
Their man was just playing it. Fam, one time Hungary were doing the thing, Puskas and that man.
Oh, Diego Costa's played for Spain and Brazil as well. So.
Did he play for Brazil?
Yes, he has.
When?
As a friendly, not international competition.
I think it was before the 2014 World Cup and they didn't even call him there.
They didn't call him. Because they called that Fred Don.
Yeah, and that's when he decided to play for Spain.
Yeah, fam. Yeah, of course I got to play for Spain after that, fam. They called Fred over me.
Fam, Brazil.
They called Fred over Diego Costa.
Brazil have had a lot of players that Brazilian born that play for their country, like Deco, Pepe, so many guys.
They're bought up for the other international countries though. I'm surprised that Williams got Brazilian caps, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure he might have probably wore the number 10 shirt at some point there.
That's a brief time, yeah. When name was
he wore the number 10 for Brazil.
He wore a couple times.
Brazil! Hey fam, Williams been stealing number 10 shirts, fam. He wore the Chelsea 10.
He steals it just from his free kicks.
He can never hold the Arsenal 10 shirt. In fact, that's in perpetuity now.
10 shirt doesn't really have value apart from Burger.
They never touch it.
By Ozil, no.
It's Ozil. It's in perpetuity for a long time.
Ozil's holding a hostage.
Wilshere had it at one time, fam.
But even Brazil, they won 5 now. Firmino at a double, maybe he's going to turn a corner. We hope.
Firmino, Jesus. Who do you prefer?
None. I'd rather have no striker.
Well, right now or just overall?
Yeah, right now. If you had a game, who you putting in there?
Firmino's finishing has gone out of the dream.
He scored 2 though. He said he's gonna recover though.
Hopefully. Gabriel Jesus, he's injured. I mean, it really depends.
I'm taking Gabby J because I've seen him play for Brazil. and he balls out for Brazil. Like Gabby J balls.
You don't watch Brazil because Firmino balled out in the Copa.
But he balled out better than him though. Gabby J was better than him in the games they played.
It's arguable. I would still take Fabinho because his game's more polished.
Fabinho? He's not in the discussion.
I said Fabinho.
He said Fabinho.
We'll run the tape.
We'll run the tape. He definitely said Fabinho.
Just like you said hamburger.
Did he not say? Huh?
Just like you said hamburger.
It's hamburger. It's SV.
Hamburger.
Let's check it out.
Hamburger.
Dinner?
Hamburger. Let's do dinner, yeah? Hamburger.
Hamburger. You caught me!
That'd be with me 4-0 up, you know, bro.
But you definitely said Fabinho.
We'll check the tape, G.
How confident you are that you didn't say Fabinho?
We'll check the tape.
Pay for the session.
We'll check the tape. We'll check the tape. You want to do another dinner bet?
Come on. No way.
Because if I go... Because you get...
He said Fabinho, didn't he?
I'm not too sure. I couldn't hear it.
You already done one. You owe me 2 more. If it goes to 3, you're taking me Haka Sanchez.
Let's talk something else.